Process automation is a very exciting topic. These technologies have been around for several years, but the rate at which they are being adopted is increasing dramatically. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the benefits of robotic process automation and artificial intelligence. We'll also discuss the differences between these two concepts. Robotic process automation is the use of software to complete routine, repetitive tasks. Now, routine and repetitive are the key words here. If we want to implement RPA, we need to find processes that we do over and over again that have very little variation. For instance, let's think about the three-way match. We use the three-way match to match an invoice from a supplier with the purchase order and the receiving report. This makes sense because if we didn't order something, we don't want to pay a vendor for it, right? So think about how many purchases a company makes on a regular basis. During the course of a year, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. Imagine the amount of time that it takes to do a three-way match for every one of those transactions. We're talking thousands and thousands of man-hours. RPA is the process of using software to perform this type of repetitive task. So in this case, we could create a bot, that's what they're called, to receive the invoice from the vendor, and the bot would then look through our purchase orders, look through our receiving reports, and if all three match, then the bot, this program, would send a payment off to the vendor automatically. We remove the human aspect from the process. Now, there are many areas of operations where companies can save money and time by using RPA. For instance, payroll is very repetitive, right? You're doing the same thing over and over again. Also, let's think about purchasing. Consider a grocery store, right? How does a grocery store know when to buy more goods? Well, we can have employees check inventory levels, or we can use robotic process automation that can monitor our inventory levels and automatically order more inventory when we hit some pre-established threshold. Now, the benefits of RPA are incredible. Robots and computers don't need sleep, and they are way faster than humans. They're also far more accurate. The type of tasks that are suited for RPA are routine and repetitive. Many of these tasks are painfully boring. By shifting these tasks to robots, employees can focus their time on more valuable tasks. And as a result, RPA has been shown to improve employee satisfaction. RPA can also have a big effect on a company's bottom line. I've spoken with executives of very large companies that within a few years of adopting RPA were saving well over 1 million man-hours per year just by using RPA. Now, there are some problems to RPA adoption. The upfront costs to design RPA aren't negligible, though these costs are quickly recouped. Perhaps the biggest drawback is that these programs will only do exactly what they are programmed to do. So if they are programmed incorrectly, they'll perform incorrectly 100% of the time. As a result, RPA must be monitored. Also, RPA can't handle tasks that don't conform to the program, right? To these conditions that we've set forth. So if there's a three-way match, for example, that is slightly different than the others, ideally, the bot or the program will flag this transaction so that it can be handled by an employee. Artificial intelligence is much more sophisticated than robotic process automation. Artificial intelligence, or AI, involves computers performing tasks that require analysis and pattern recognition. The goal of AI is often to make recommendations to an organization that will improve operations. AI always involves some aspect of learning. The algorithms that AI uses generally update automatically to account for more data as time goes on. Now let's talk through another example. I mentioned that grocery stores might use robotic process automation such that when inventory levels reach a certain threshold that's determined by management, the system will make purchases automatically to restock my shelves and save employee time, right? Great idea. RPA depends on humans to establish these thresholds. Artificial intelligence takes this example a step further, and this is a real example. AI can help the company determine what the appropriate threshold should be for each item. AI programs can analyze all customers' purchases and then establish optimal thresholds. AI can account for different taste preferences at different locations. AI can use historical data to predict how major sporting events will change these threshold levels. It can even determine how weather patterns affect purchases. And as time goes on and more data is fed into the program, the AI program can make even better decisions, right? These algorithms are updated. And the result is far less waste because we're ordering only what we need to order, and the food is going to be fresher. Think about how this matters to an industry like grocery stores where profit margins are razor thin, right? Even a small decrease in waste can have a huge difference on company profits. So, RPA and AI are at the opposite ends of a process automation spectrum. Remember that robotic process automation deals with routine, repetitive tasks that have very little variation, while AI uses pattern recognition and analysis to make recommendations to the organization.